Neil, I cannot possibly imagine what it must be like here in August, because it's an absolutely scorching day here, and we've just seen the horses come through their final paces before this monumental meeting worth over 360 million rand. It's almost incomprehensible, and I'm sure with a very stronger currency, it's still a lot of money to you guys.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the richest race in the world, the Dubai World Cup. The money on offer here today surpasses anything else on the international calendar, and I'm lucky enough to visit a lot of countries and see great racing, but this day in terms of the fiscal side of things is just on its own.
Well, the Americans have come back in their droves, mainly as a consequence of the change of surface, and it doesn't get a lot better than a horse called California Chrome.
He's been going out at 5 o'clock every morning in pitch darkness. Of course, we got the floodlights here, but he basically has been a step ahead of everyone else, burning up the track, as they say. What can you say about California Chrome? He's the most high-profile horse in the US. They've won the Dubai World Cup 9 times. That's a tremendous record. That means that they have won 50% of all the Dubai World Cups that have ever taken place, of course, starting with the one and only Cigar. And the way this horse is moving, be a brave man to say that he's not going to make it the 10th.
Well, Bill Mott hasn't come back for a change of climate. He's come back with a horse that he considers to be a very, very serious contender as well.
Yeah, Leah is a different type of horse to California Chrome. I think the only thing they've got in common is the colour of their skin. They're both chestnuts. But Leah, to me, is a typical Bill Mott type horse. He's been extremely laid back in his work, very calm and collective, whereas the California Chrome side of things, a little bit more energetic, a little bit more raw jungle power about him. Who would bet against one of these two very good horses not winning the Dubai World Cup? The betting market certainly suggests it will be one of those.
Well, if there is to be any kind of upset, the experts believe it may come from the Japanese horse rather than a UAE horse.
It could well. The problem we got with the Japanese horses is that they haven't been here. It's a difficult one. On the form that they've shown in Japan, you can't argue they are serious contenders. But I think America have a big bias factor in their favour here, and I think that will show through.
Yeah, I was listening to a report this morning on Dubai television that they liken this more to Churchill Downs than any other racetrack, the kind of speed of the track, and yet if you look at the fractions of California Chrome in the Derby and the Preakness, they're much faster than the ones that are recorded here.
Absolutely. Of course, this is a new surface. Let's not get away from the fact that although they call this surface dirt, it isn't really dirt in the literal sense of the word. This is a sand. There's no synthetic about it, but there again, there's not really any dirt about it. This is a sand track. And so I think some Americans who possibly considered coming here decided to sort of sit back a bit and have a look and see how things panned out. Not all of them. It's an increased presence of American horses through the card, but if this goes well for the Yanks, dare I say, on Saturday, I think you'll see a lot more coming over next year.
Well, the interesting thing is that Graham Motion, who of course was victorious with Animal Kingdom, has got a very, very serious grass horse in the Shima Classic.
He's got Main Sequence, who of course ran in the Investec Derby, I think it was 3 years ago, when trained by David Lanigan in Lambourne, close to where I live. A Main Sequence was a tricky customer. You know, he had a funny head carriage. He used to get a little bit excitable before his races. Nevertheless, he did quite well in the UK, but what he's done in the States since moving there is quite amazing, really. And when you look at him now, his physical presence is that of a completely different horse. So clearly the way that they train horses over in the US has suited Main Sequence. He is a top-notcher there.
Well, on the subject of a real serious contender for the Shima Classic, I don't recall having seen a man more confident about the ability of his horse than John Moore, and he really believes that Designs on Rome is the real deal.
I really like this horse. I think watching him out there every morning, he's one of the ones that's really caught my imagination. And when John Moore tells you that he is coming here with very much a confident view about winning that race, you've got to sit up and take notice. And I think Designs on Rome, his form stacks up, the way that he's travelled over and settled in here also adds to the positives. I'm finding it hard to find any negatives about him, and I'm kind of coming round to looking at him as the horse that I'll pick for that race anyway.
I think he could be just a little better than Military Attack, and he's proven that in his last few starts, being able to get up and beat Military Attack. This horse is very game, he's courageous, and he really knows where the winning post is. And I'm ecstatic about the way things have gone right up until now.